Hey guys, my name is Eric Wooldridge. I go by Coach Eric, and I have a Zoom interview here with two of my volleyball friends. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Okay, hi, my name is Marco Meoni. I'm currently the U16 coach for HBA, and I just done my season with UCSD, like center coach. I will be a assistant coach with the staff of Italian national team next summer. Hi, everybody.
Very cool. Next up.
Hi, everybody. My name is Massimo Merazzi. I am from Italy, a strength and conditioning coach. My team in Italy is Lube Civitanova, a pro team, and we are playing now the finals of the Italian Championship. And 2 months ago, we won the Italian Cup. This is my second season working with HVA. I am very proud to do this challenge to cooperate with a team in the United States.
That's very cool. We're very happy, very proud to have you in our gym. So for viewers, our club players that are going through your strength and conditioning program that you designed specifically for our athletes, I felt like it was a good opportunity since at the highest level, Italian pro volleyball, you're there just to kind of go through a couple questions. If they end up watching it, awesome. If not, I just wanted to let you know that you got some people rooting for you over here in Texas. Myself and then Marco over there with a cowboy hat and all. Just really big fans. The first question is going to be, what are your athletes doing outside of practice for active rest?
In the last part of the season, athletes need to rest as much as possible to recover their energy and be ready for the last important matches. The most important thing is sleep, a good number of hours. It's important to have a good quality sleep. So in the evening, in this period, it's necessary to go to bed rather early and, if possible, not to use excessively devices such as tablets, smartphones, or similar, because that devices disturb a bit the quality of sleep. So I always say to my athletes, sleep is very important. Not only practice, but recover, rest, to be in a good shape.
All right, so Massimo, your guys are there. You guys beat Perugia the last game, and you're in the finals. So we're all wondering, how fun is it to see the level of athleticism and confidence that has been built and trained over the season? And what is the game day daily routine or secret habit that keeps the team feeling strong, not only physically, but mentally?
The truth is that we don't have secret habit. You must understand that in the game day, the athlete must feel good. It's important to have good habits that make the day a preparation for the competition. Wake up in the morning, have breakfast, a little training in the morning, take lunch, rest, and then the match. Habits help the player to arrive ready for the important appointment, giving tranquility, I say a good rhythm. We must build a daily routine for the game day. This is very important.
Love that. Awesome. All right. Big games come with big pressure. When you're out there in the finals, how does everyone stay physically relaxed and mentally locked in? Any tips or mental tricks for us that we could try in our own matches? Pre-game warm-ups, activate the total athlete?
When you are under pressure, be physically relaxed and mentally focused is a great goal. To get this goal, to achieve this goal, you have to work in your daily life as an athlete. Learn to have a good warm-up before a workout or before a normal match. Don't improvise things or leave things to chance. Good routine makes you calmer, stronger, and for sure more ready. So my players must understand what is good for themselves and build a daily routine for the game day.
I love that. Last one. If you could give us one piece of advice about becoming stronger, not just in the gym, but as athletes, what would it be? Something we could use in training, nutrition, or even the way we think.
Okay. Suggestion number one is to have goodwill. And then you need continuity in exercise and progression. I like to say, be a hammer, hit every day in every workout, and then step by step do things that are a little more difficult. And that's the way to become stronger. Train well, have practice in a good way every day. You must understand how the body improves, not only with training, but also with rest and nutrition. Remember one thing, the day before the finals, the evening, the night before the finals, everyone wants to win. But for sure, there is a thing that make the difference. You must want to win 2 months before, 3 months before. In this way, you will have practice in a good way every day. And the day before the final, you will be ready.
Massimo, that's awesome. Marco, go ahead and unmute your microphone. I definitely want to throw some questions around. So, Marco, tell us a little bit, some history with you, AC Lube, and also throw in some more information on why you felt like it was important to tell us as a club that we need to take a different approach to strength and conditioning, and how Massimo is just the right guy.
So first of all, there's two different things. My relation with Lube and my relation with Massimo. Because I met Massimo when I was playing Verona in the last contract of my career. So I was like pretty old. For different reason, the fact that I was 37 was a big reason. I need to work more with him than with the team. I spent a lot of time with him because I played in Lube for 7 years. Now Lube is in Civitanova. Back in the day, the gym was like 15 miles far from there, like in the city called Macerata. But the club is exactly the same, just they're playing a different arena. We keep in touch forever, and Massimo is an amazing person and obviously a great professional coach. But obviously, when these two things are matching, it's much easier to work together and fun and working. I love the approach he has on the team, the practice, because when you're playing pro, you're like practicing every day for 10 months a year. And if you're a part of a national team like it was, like 12 months a year, and sometimes strength conditioning and warm up is the boringest thing in the world. So you have to be really, really focused, really, really engaged, really, really motivated to go in the gym and start warming up in the right way and making a good job with the weight. On the other hand, if you're not focused when you're squatting, that wasn't my case, I was not squatting, but typically other people are squatting. Having like 300 pounds on the back is super dangerous if you're not there with your head. So these are the relation we have. And now we are more friends than colleagues. Why I was talking with you guys of HVA about him is because I saw the way we were like working in the gym, and the fact that the HVA was trying to do a good job was amazing. And actually you hired me to help you to have a different view on things for a different perspective. Obviously for young volleyball, but from a professional view. And I saw that sometimes, when being voice volleyball, a sport not so known in the United States, generally speaking, but specific in Texas. Sometimes you don't have a figure that know how to work on volleyball. When you talk with Massimo about that, and actually I did it recently because when I was talking with him, I was just talking about volleyball, but I was asking him, okay, I have some kids who want to work with you. What they want, his question was what they want. So like, they want to jump higher. It's like, I don't want to jump higher. I'm now making a script to jump higher. I make a script for who, first of all? It's like a volleyball player, a basketball player, is like track and field, is like football player. So there are different things that help for a different sport you need. Because the first thing is like prevention. At this age is building the body that is growing. So I had to hit the body without overloading the back, for example, or all the joint. And the other thing is the prevention. So be sure that these kids can play as long as they can without too many pains. Okay, I don't say without pains because it's impossible to play sports without pains. I'm the proof. When I was seeing the work we were doing that was actually good, but was look more like Instagram workout. I don't know how to say it. Like it was really fancy, really sweaty, because you sweat doesn't mean that necessarily you're doing a good job. Okay, you can sweat in a sauna as well. You can sweat sitting outside in August in Houston. So I was talking with Sean, listen, I think I have a good person for this job. And obviously he's going to be tough because he's living in Italy, but yeah, it's like 25 years experience in volleyball with boys, girls, younger, older, and not just Italian, so different culture because Massimo resume is like even if he's younger than me, he's longer than mine probably. So the only problem was like trying to make Massimo figure it out, which is our way to work. Because when you work in Italy, you don't have 6 court ever. You have just 1 court. You have to manage 1 court with one team at a time working. Or if you are super lucky, you have 2 nets. So you have 2 teams working together. And the club has U19, U17, U15, and that's it. one thing. So when you work in this way, it's much easier be like one-on-one and be tailor the practice for your needed. And so the things we did, I tried to explain to him, which is the situation that we're working with, basically 12 teams a night, grouped from 12 to 8 teams and in two time slots. Okay. So between the two practice, we have 30 minutes. We have to try the best that we can in these 30 minutes. The other problem that we're gonna find is like having 120 kids together is like we cannot have equipment for everybody. So we have to structure a script where like in some way we have few equipment that can do for everybody. So you know how it is. Now we're not explaining exactly how the script works, but I think we've found the right way. Obviously, kids are kids. They want to have fun, but they're learning that you cannot talk too much when you're making drills. You have to be focused. You have to learn how to do it in order to have the best from the drill that you're doing. Did I was too long?
No, I love it. So I'm going to take that and go right over to Massimo. I hate to say it. You probably already know it. Our athletes don't like when it comes to strength and conditioning. There's like from 11s all the way to 18s, boys, girls. It's like, can we get out of it? To that athlete that kind of has that feeling, how do you try to motivate, if you even need to motivate? I don't think we need to motivate attitude and effort, but we've all been there. We don't want to work out. I've seen you demo some of the split squats or certain lunges, and I'm like, man, I got to get up and do that and be able to do some of this if our kids are going to do it. But long question, where do you find the motivation when you're creating your own habits? How are these athletes going to find the motivation to increase their success during that time?
The athlete must understand that work on body is the same things that work on setting, work on passing, work on spiking the ball, because your body is the instrument you have to play volleyball in the best way. So sometimes coaches talk to the guys and explain how it's important to have practice, volleyball practice in the correct way. But strength and conditioning is the same, because strength and conditioning prepare the body of our athlete to do the better volleyball. So I think that the example is very important. Coaches must give to the fitness workout the same importance that they give to other part of the practice. So sometimes coach say, okay, do the warm-up. Okay, do something with the physical trainer. Yes, but if we do this, the athlete thinks that volleyball is more important. Other things, maybe it's a bit important, but not so much. It's important to play in a good way. It's important to do bagger in a good way. Block is important, but squat is not so important, and so on. Okay, the approach that the coaches give to the strength and condition, because example is very important. With the young guys, sometimes I do the exercises with them during warm-up. If I ask for push-up, sometimes I go on floor and I do push-up with my athletes. If I ask for squat or jump squat, I do, okay, come with me, let's go. And I do this. It's very important to create feeling, energy, positive idea about this.
Yeah, no, I love it. That it increases the trust too. Marco would actually go in and do some of the exercises whenever we onboard it for the boys, or I try to do it sometimes with the girls, but I typically didn't, because I didn't want to get outdone by some of the club athletes getting a little older.
One more thing about this topic is like how much strength conditioning can impact the skills. It's not just because you can jump higher. It's not about that. But for example, we are working on passing and we say, why you're not lunging on this ball? Why you're not closing this angle? It's not they're closing this angle because they don't want to do, they're lazy. They cannot do it because they don't have the power to do it. Yeah, and so at that point they take a bad habits, making a bad platform and a bad pass because they cannot go down. So if I work on this angle, even if I'm working, without any weights, but just making some movement on that, at that point when I start making the next reps, I want to take few grades that are going to make the best movement. And so at that point my platform can have a better angle. So strength conditioning doesn't have to be think like, oh, I'm squatting, I'm like just abs or whatever. No, it's like something that help you to make skills better. Because sometimes we're too focused on the skill that we're not thinking that working out can help to make these skills better too. not just more powerful.
I mean, both Marco, what you just said, and what Massimo you said earlier, that's part of the communication that I have with athletes and the parents. You know, we need to get 10,000 hours to master a skill, whether you call it passing or you call it bog. You need time, and some of that time in our practices are used for Massimo's strength and conditioning, tailored for the athletes. And we always kind of get this, well, what if we're working on core and we're working on the bird dog movement and we're not working on passing? Well, how does this correlate? And I have to explain a little bit of how that works. So I'm glad you guys both said something towards that. Any last thoughts? What I was going to ask is, Massimo, when do you play? What, it's a best of 7? You haven't started yet?
It's a best of 5. We played yesterday in the evening. The first match, we lost in Trento because we play a bad game. For sure, my team was a bit tired, maybe tired here, because we came out alive from an incredible battle against Perugia. We won 3 matches. In the beginning, we lost the first. We lost the second. And so we are desperate, but we start pushing, and we won 3 games in a row. Now we are in the finals, 3-on-5. The first one was bad, okay, but in the next 3 days, we prepare the next one. We play at home in Civitanova Thursday, and I am sure we can do a very good match and go 1-1 and play for the Italian Championship.
I love that. That's awesome.
I don't have the math exactly, but I think the average of the age of Lube is not so higher than a college age.
We are
Crazy.
very young. Our setter is 20 years old. The first season in A1. The last season, he was in A1, but he didn't play because the setter was Bruno.
Got it. Well, that's cool. Okay, well, we wish you the best. Thank you for taking care of our athletes. We go with sending you the best vibes and luck to do what you need to do over there in the Italian Championship. But just really super proud that you got to be there. I know Marco took me whenever we were playing in the Connaughton Cup, and I got to see your arena, I got to meet you, and there was some banners up there that Marco was a part of. So just the whole Italian volleyball world is high on my respect list. And then here you are going to the finals, the strength and conditioning coach. And, we happen to be in this conversation. Thank you, Marco, for the introduction. And we're just rooting for you.
Eric, thank you for everything. I am proud to work with you, with HVA. In the next day, we stay connected, and I try to update you about my team, the finals, and so on.
That's perfect.